Hi, my name's Nicole. I'm 18, and up until the end of October, I had been officially unemployed. These past 9 months have been so confusing for me. I've been tested on so many different levels, stressed to the point of breakdowns, and disappointed by the constant cycle of application, interview, and rejection. I understand that this lockdown may have a drastic effect on the national population, and I wanted to make this video halfway through this month in hopes that it might help someone. These tips are some of the things that I managed to get to grips with before reaching the point of extreme anxiety and hopelessness. I hope I can be of service to you with the little influence that I have. I'm going to be giving you some tips, some suggestions, ideas on how to survive this second lockdown. Number 1, mental health matters. Now, mental health it's a balance, okay? Yeah, when we say mental health, it's more of a mind thing, but it doesn't just impact the mind. Mental health is in fact a chemical balance which can be influenced by the following things and more: human emotions, physical movements, your diet, whether you smoke, drink, or take drugs and any scientific medications, your sleep pattern, your environment, your social life, family life. We human beings operate best through a series of tasks, kind of like having a systematic routine. However, this has been partly, if not wholly, destroyed by the first initial lockdown which happened in March. Though this time round we have been told in advance and we are more clear and more greatly aware of why this lockdown is happening, this is still nonetheless damaging to how we would usually go about our day. These next points are like, fun, practical, entertaining, but mostly important things you can do to sort of keep this balance mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, etc. Media consumption. Books, audiobooks, music, and movies. I really do enjoy getting my hands on a good physical book. I really do believe in investing our minds through reading. It can take you to a completely different world, and it also helps your eyes to keep moving in case you're kind of bored. Because I'm a kinesthetic learner, I always prefer to have physical copies of books because, as a page turns, so my mind is kind of like on refresh and my mind is refreshed even as I'm reading through the series of events which are happening. However, if you are more of a digital person, you can also read digitally too. Books, physically or digitally, can help you to forget or address a certain challenge or difficulty that you're going through in life. This can be applied fictionally, but also through non-fiction accounts, diary, news, etc. Sorry, if I'm looking down, it's because I've wrote all my notes on here. Number 2, audiobook. Great alternative for those of you that just don't have the time to be leisurely reading, or if you're someone that comes from a very noisy household. Audiobooks, along with podcasts, are becoming more and more popular, and again, it's convenient for the type of people that I just mentioned. I think it's up to you about what sort of audiobook. Just like books, it's up to you which genres that you want to read, that you want to look into, study. But during this specific time, as we're in lockdown, which can get pretty depressing, I would definitely recommend genres which are within and around motivation, productivity, informative news, not opinionated news, autobiographies and other biographies, and dramatizations of novels if you're feeling adventurous. Number 3, we have music. Studies have proven and continue to prove music's great impacts on our mood, on our mental state, but also on our physical state as well, because I don't know about you, those of you that would have gone to the gym, more likely than not, you listen to music whilst you're working out, whilst you're doing whichever class. And with music, you don't just listen to any music. You're not going to listen to a slow sounding composition whilst you're on a treadmill. I mean, you can do that, but If you're someone that is looking for motivation, you're more likely to listen to uplifting, upbeat music. This is just one of many examples in which music can have a great influence on our motivation, on our mood, on our commitment to do something. You can escape into different parts of the world. And if you're learning a language, this can be an incredible plus for you, since, you know, we can't move regions, let alone countries or continents even. Listening to music will definitely introduce you to a variety of sounds, cultures, and instruments. Finally, number 4, we have films and TV shows. Yes, they are culturally eye-opening. And yes, it is so much easier to just binge watch a whole 12 hours worth of shows. I'm not against binge watching because you do need 1 or 2 of them days.
It's very easy for you to get swamped into the narrative, the film narrative, the world of whatever it is you're watching.
But you have to remember that when that show finishes, your life doesn't finish, okay? So it's good to watch films, it's good to watch TV shows to just release some stress, especially if it's comedy. However, don't be easily swamped into the world of film. Don't be so caught up that you forget that you actually have a life. The point is communication and socialization. Please, 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 please do not isolate yourself. I know it sounds incredibly ironic because this is exactly what the government just told us to do.
Nicole, why are you asking me to break the law? Do you want me to get arrested or something?
No, I don't. If you are someone that lives by yourself, or you're living, for example, at your university campus, or away from other people, if it is at all possible for you to call, text, Skype your loved ones, your friends, your family, please do it. Understand that in all things you are not alone.
You are not alone. You are not alone.
This whole nation is going through just what you're going through. Maybe to different quantities, to different extents. Use this time to really get yourself in contact with other people. Because the last thing you want to do is to isolate yourself, to shut yourself out from the world and feel completely useless, to feel completely unworthy. Not remembering that there's over 60-something million people in England. I don't know if that was England or the UK in general, but let's forget about that. If you have a church community, or if you have a religious community or organization that you're a part of, definitely keep yourself locked in on any local events or online events. Alternatively, definitely check out your community websites, see if there's anything that you can do, try something new through online classes. But the point is to really socialize with other people. Even though we have been limited in that we can't physically be in contact with other people, don't let new methods of communication scare you. An additional thing that I would add to family or with your friends or with other people, one thing I would suggest is that you, as well as the others around you, be part of creating a healthy family environment. Healthy and not happy, because, you know, creating a happy environment, it's good, it can also be faked. A healthy environment sort of opens the door for everybody to feel open, to be honest, but most importantly to be able to practice empathy, practice consideration for other people. If you can get out of the house through things like volunteering, definitely go and do it. Like, number one, you're helping people in so many different ways. You're helping to decrease the COVID situation. You're helping to provide for those who are in greatest need of support. It's just really good to like, I don't know, to use yourself to help other people. It's kind of like practicing altruism. You can sit in your garden, but you can also just go around for a walk to really help clear your head in, because it's so easy to be overwhelmed with all these piles of tasks, and you overthink it all, and you think of yourself as a failure, like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this, never going to be able to do that. But sometimes what your mind really needs is just to be still. So we are halfway through this video.
If you haven't already, already, please do give me a like, share and subscribe for more videos.
Number 4, I've got here self-talk. Everything stems from your heart, and what you say and do are physical reflections of the state of your heart. You need to believe that you have purpose, because you do. If you are breathing, if you are alive, if you have breath in your lungs, you have purpose. Irrespective of your current state, whether it be physically, mentally, socially, you have purpose. If you had to wait until the 15th of November to hear Nicole say you have purpose, you better believe it. Don't overthink your environment, your current situation. You need to remember that this is temporary, but also this in part is out of our control. This second lockdown is out of our control. The fact that you may or may not be able to go to your lectures or work as you normally would, that is out of your control. Focus on the things that you can control.
What can you control?
I'll give you some examples. You can control the time that you sleep and you wake up. You control whether you choose to be productive or lazy in bed all day. You can choose to communicate with particular people that bring value to you, but you also have the power to decide, well, you know what, I'm just going to talk to that person even though they completely drain me. Don't overthink the things that you can't control. And even with the things that you can control, when you do overthink it, you magnify it to the extreme. And when you magnify it to the extreme, tasks become extremely impossible for you to do, when really they could have been as easy as. If you want to be kind to others, you have to first be kind to yourself. What I mean is, you shouldn't be too hard on yourself, but you also shouldn't be full of yourself. Jesus said that it's not what enters our mouths that make us unclean, but it's what comes out. Actions are great. It is all about the heart.
Almost.
Increase your faith. It's not what you think I'm going to say. Use these moments of uncertainty to be reminded that even as everything appears to be crumbling down, everything is hitting harder than a waterfall, God is still working and God is still in control. If you're someone in leadership of any kind, from archbishop to head of a household to even having digital influence, check on those around and under you, because pride will really kill you. And God won't be mocked, especially if you're someone that's trying to hide the fact that you're manipulative or you're negative in some other kind of way behind doing the works of God. Know God for yourself through seeking Him daily and diligently. Pray. And like I said before, if you are part of a church community, definitely make sure you're connected with other like-minded Bible-believing Christians. It is so important that through all things you are reminded that this is not the end, in that this isn't the only life that we're going to have. This life is a mere speck in comparison to eternity, because eternity never ends. That number 8, it just goes round and round and round and round and round and round. That's exactly how eternity is going to be. This world is like a tube. Like, yes, it has a beginning, but it will also stop at some point. When you're writing the number 2 on a pen, you have to lift up the pen before you write something else. As we reach the conclusion of this video, I just wanted to share with you guys 3 things that I learned during the first lockdown. Patience. I'm learning to make the most of every situation instead of rushing to get straight to the next stage, which completely collaborates with the second thing that I've learnt and am learning. I can do anything that I set my heart to, but sometimes I choose to wait it out or wait for something bigger or better to come before doing something. Finally, I've realised that I really do love journaling and documenting, protecting your mental health. For the rest of this month is important, yet do not let it be the definition of you. For sure, spend time with those in your family and be connected physically or virtually. Give your time, give to charity, give to organizations that you believe are helping to combat COVID-19 or helping to combat, I just say combat. Whether you give your time or you give your money to organizations and charities that you believe are helping to combat COVID-19 or other extremely important, overshadowed problems of the world. Invest time into learning something new. It could be something big, or it can even just be something small. And allow yourself to be entertained within moderation, whilst the whole world is saying, oh, you need to be productive, oh, you need to be doing a million things at once. It's always better to work smart than to work hard. And that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this helped you in some way, shape or form. Until the next video, goodbye and God bless you.